Hello everyone and welcome to today's PhotoBiz Live where we'll be doing website reviews. It's a great day for us to take a look at your website, see what you got going on, and seeing how we can make improvements. So that's what today's all about. It's about making improvements. So that'll be the main focus of the day, seeing where we can make tweaks here and there to vastly improve the website when necessary. And it might just give us a chance to see what everyone's doing. Everyone does something different. There might be something really cool that a customer or person that filled it out wants is doing and what we can take from it. So we're going to give some people some time to get settled in. If you have any questions or if you want to be featured in our website reviews in the future, there is a form below in the description. So check it out, fill it out, and then, hey, it's first come, first serve. So whatever gets on there, we'll see eventually. So I'm going to give people some time before we get settled in, and we'll get going. All right. Ski for fun. Hey, I know we already reviewed my website earlier this week, but I wanted to sit in on these reviews. Yeah, I can also take a look at your website as well. Let me, if you don't mind, throwing it over in the chat, and that way I can just pop it in. While we wait for that, talk about some updates and stuff that we got going on. So, if you go to blog.photobiz.com, you can check out all our latest features and updates that we have. A lot of topics that we've been covering lately. You can see since the start of August, hey, PhotoBiz AI was featured on PPA's Hot Ones Award, so that's really awesome. Some other stuff that's going on. We got some new features such as PhotoBiz templates, layouts, and other creative ways to power your brand. Google AI mode and what it means for you. It's just changing search in general completely. And what's new in general? Let's take a look at some of the features that we've recently released. We have some new layout options that have been released. You can see here different new structures. Some have like card styles and things like that. You can also see here, we have new opacity levels, overlay styles, things like that you can modify, and open full screen mode if you want the images to be clickable that way. You'll also see move block options is now available. Beforehand, you could just drag and drop a block directly into another page if you wanted to, from copying and pasting it, or just moving it around. But now you'll actually be able to, move a block completely by just clicking on the move option there. And then just telling it which page you want it to go to, and if you want it at the top of the location or at the bottom. So that's a really nice new thing that's available, making it a little bit more streamlined and easy for everyone. And one of my favorite new things is the change block layouts option. I've been calling it the quick change because over here you'll have this option. You can click on it and you can change the block very fast, very quickly by just tapping on it, and it'll shift through the layouts, different looks very quickly. Or you can just click on that and it'll take you over to the layout section over here. So whatever you prefer, whatever your editing style is for all types. So you can definitely take advantage of that. I love it. I think it makes things so incredibly fast, especially if you like to mess around with your website. You'll be done in no time. Okay. So those are some of the features that we've updated, and also some domain management settings have been also updated. But you can find out more at PhotoBiz, at blog.photobiz.com. So photos by... There we go. We're going to pull up Michelle's website. Let's see. Since we spoke, I added one or more rows of images to the homepage. I also switched the font to black and white on the call to action to make it easier to read. So earlier this week, Michelle and I actually had a coaching service. So we went through, we did some design layout changes. We made some tweaks here and there just to make the page more engaging. So this will be a kind of a great way to look at the what review looks like after it's already been reviewed once. So we're going to go through it, see what changes and I'll talk about some of the things that we made changes to. And then we'll talk about, things like that as we go through it, and just see what he's done and see how it looks. So, all right. Hey, James Edward. I believe I have you on the list today. Is it Sneak Peek Photography? Let me know. So let's see what we got going on here. So we can see homepage wise, when we were looking at it together, he had the text at the top beforehand versus the visual component. We flip-flopped that for a reason, and the reason why is just how Google looks at things and how people interact with website. If you're hit with text right away versus a visual component, it can sometimes lead people away. So we've made that more, more attractive to customers and to the algorithms looking at the website, saying, "Ooh, there's something visual here. Let me take a look at it." Now he added some extras here at the top. I think originally it was only 4 images across, and now he's got these 8. I think it looks really nice. It's a nice way to start the page. It looks very clean and crisp, and it also shows off different, audience types that we were talking about in our discussion. Young and older professionals working. I think this looks really nice. Then we went down through here. We updated some stuff for SEO purposes. I think this still looks really good. He added some other locations to it as well. Still looks great. and I told him to go through and tweak the text as he wanted. We used PhotoBiz AI to kind of render out some quick options for him to see what it looks like, and I told him to kind of go through it and come through it, see if there's anything that he wanted to change to it. But for the most part, it was really well written, and then we just made some minor tweaks here and there. We updated nothing else, I think, on this page, so it looks really good. Really nice start. Let's jump over to the About Me. We added it. Yeah, you got that little tap here to go over, so that looks really good. This page is already fine enough. Let's see what we've done over here. Now this page we definitely did some tweaking to. We modified it to where, I told him that he's going to upload some more photos down the line, but we rearranged and curated what it looks like. So he had AI was added to the portfolio page. So this is something that we're going to see probably down here. Yeah, so you can see down here we added some options just to give some more curation to the page. So when people are searching, this page is not just a portfolio page now, it's more of a an actual landing page, because each experience should feel like that when it goes from there. So when we're taking a look at it, we curated the page. We kind of made, younger professionals a little bit up front, and then kind of mixed everything in between that. Just to, he's trying to appeal to, people that are probably just starting their profession, but also entertaining people who have long been in as professionals. So, we want to show some youthful, very modern stylings. And then, of course, we want to show off some professionals, probably been working, at least 10, 15 plus years. Because, CEOs and stuff are looking like that for their teams and too. So I think he has some really strong visuals. We're seeing some youthful people, a man and a woman. And then we have some older ones. I love this one down here. We were talking about this pop tie. It looks really strong, very vibrant. So I think this is a really nice setup on this page. And then we just add some more of that energy here. You can see we brought down an image in here, and then just kind of breaking down all that stuff here, because beforehand it was just the images and that was it. And with that type of scenario, you don't really give anything to the algorithm, first of all, for SEO purposes, but also I guess you could call the meat and potatoes of a page. We got the meat, but we need those potatoes too to make this whole thing a hearty meal. So I think now having that diegetic, what happens, the importance of it, I think that was something that was very important for him. And now we've, placed it here to add more of that credibility and trust that he was seeking. Because he is coming at it from a different value point, but higher, high quality, if not higher than his competitors. So that's what we wanted to make sure was being vied. Then he's got that. We jump over here to the pricing page. This page was already great. Yeah, just added a couple things. The only thing I might do down here is add a little breathing room so it's not touching the footer. So you can just add a little spacer in there just so this sticks out a little bit more versus kind of feeling stuck, if that makes sense. So Michelle, if you can just add a little space, kind of like how you have above here, just add a little space right below there. You can take one of those spacers and just pop it in right in there. Contact page. We got his form on this page. I think otherwise this looks really nice. We could make this background so it all blends in as white. Just noticing that. So that might be something that we want to do. That might look really strong. And then let's take a look at the FAQ page. Now this is something we updated also. Originally he had these gorgeous photos, these amazing photos, but they were like of landscapes, like I think Montana or Wyoming, I can't remember specifically, but they were amazing. But it's not his business, It's like, for me, as a customer, I'm coming to his page, I'm like, does he also do landscapes? What am I looking at? So that can feel a little alien to the page. Even as amazing the photos are, it almost makes me want to be like, hey, make a fine arts website of that stuff, right? But it's the idea of like, when it comes to your audience, that's amazing, but it's not who the core is. So you want to make sure that they're seeing something specific for what they're looking for their value. But otherwise, he has a very thorough FAQ page. He uses the collapsibles, which I think is perfect for this style, because he goes in there and puts those details directly in here, and they look really, they're really detailed. So if someone wants to jump to a specific thing that they're looking for, they can jump to it versus having to read all the text. So, and it's all collapsible again when he's ready. So yeah, I think this page has always been pretty solid, and we added this nice book now, button down here at the bottom, so that looks really, really nice, and that takes him straight to the form. So, Michelle, I think that was really it. I mean, I've seen the little tweaks that you've done. Just that little padding on that one section, I think that would go a long way just to give it a little bit more breathing room. But I'm excited. I'm hoping that we see, some performance changes. He's also doing ads and stuff like that to see if that can also get in front of his audience. But we made those tweaks to his SEO and stuff as well. And we talked about, possibly doing some blogging stuff down the line, which will help with SEO performance too. So those are some things that you can consider when he has the time for all that. Start thinking of like evergreen content that you can write, such as like working professional in the DC, Northern Virginia area, who's doing your headshots, and reasons why to get your headshots here, and things like that. Stuff that people, when it goes into search, when they type in like Arlington headshot photographer, that type of content is going to be found versus just these pages. So some things to consider down the line, and down when he starts doing that, he can then create like experiences like capturing this woman's moments, talking about how efficient it was. He can wrap a testimonial into those blogs, you name it. It can just keep being reciprocal at that point. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for allowing us to showcase your website. I mean, it's looking great. I think you're doing a really good job. Once you get those photos on your portfolio page, hit me back up. I want to see which ones you put in there, and if we need to do any other extended curation. But again, he did this part of the coaching service. I think it's a really great service. You get a lot done in 1 hour, so definitely take advantage of it, just like Michelle. All right, let's jump over to our next website. And since he's here, let's go ahead and take a look at Sneak Peek Photography. Also a headshot photographer. Looks like he's doing some theater and things like that. So this will be fun to look at. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, so starting right out the gate, we got this visual component. Very nice looking photos. I like the rollover effect to see like who they are, because that gives you a little bit gravitas as a working professional, especially if you're in like the New York area or anything like that. I could see this giving you some levity of like, oh man, I got some leverage. Some things that I definitely would consider is adding some context to the page. Right now, I assume you might be in New York, but you might not be at all. But that's my assumption. So those are some things that you want to make sure that there's context clues. You want to make sure that you have the who, what, when, and where about you, and a little bit of that why, right? So I always call the homepage the brochure page, because it should be like, I open it up, I get a little bit of who you are. So show me your best of the best, and we recommend about 7 to 10 images at most, and then some context clues on that stuff. Okay, so yes, I just assumed you probably were, because there's a lot of theater work there. It would either be that or LA, right? So based on that information, I want to see that there. So when people are searching for New York headshot photographer, or theater actor, headshot photographer, professional photographer, those types of context clues comes up right away. And all it needs to be is like a paragraph here at the bottom. Just a little bit of context clues like, hey, my name is James. I've been an X, Y, and Z professional photographer for, in the New York area. I can do X, Y, and Z for you to help build your portfolio. That way you land the best part possible, or, whatever. That type of fluff, that type of energy, not only is it good for SEO, but it also can be enthusiastic for people that are especially starting out, or needing new headshots. These are the types of things that you're going to be able to captivate for them, showing that you are going to be able to bring up their personality. Like this photo, I love this one of Kent. His eyes look amazing. That smile, the colors, really, really strong. This one here, she's got strong eyes as well. I love that the green in her eyes matches her background. So that's really nice. So I like those types of things, and those are types of things that you can talk about with those photos directly in like just a paragraph, like how you're going to bring out the best of them. So definitely something to think about. But yeah, wonderful start. Just add a little paragraph for context clues, and that way we know who you are and where you are. All right, let's jump over to the portfolio. Headshot for men. Now he's broken his up in probably a traditional style method. So it's just, hey, no frills. Let's take a look at the photos. Amazing looking stuff. and he's got it broken out for men, for women. He's using the pinboard style, which I think looks really nice. Something that I would consider though, like I was mentioning with Michelle, this is where you want to add those context clues. So you can make this portfolio page turn into a landing page directly for headshots for men in New York City. So this could have a little bit of those context clues, what what you're gonna do, and then have a call to action at the bottom that leads them to booking with you. And the reason why, or going directly to your pricing. And the reason why we want to do that is we don't want to have any dead ends at any page, because now you're relying on them to be smart enough to go back up here and do something, versus just them tapping to the next things. You'll be surprised. People are very reactionary. So if you give them the next clue, be the director of them, right? So tell them where to go next, like view pricing for men, view pricing for headshots, etc. Same thing for women. Just let them, little context clues of like how you're gonna make their, headshot looks beautiful. You're located in New York City, and you can bring out the best, make their smile look wonderful, or whatever emotion that they're trying to captivate, like strong presence, anything like that. And then click over to a call to action to the next page. Then we have a portrait section. Let's take a look and see what we got going over here. Look at these amazing photos. Really cool, huh? So yeah, same thing. Just add how you're a portrait photographer in New York City and how you help out with work-related working professionals, or even brand content leaders. People who are influencers. These are things that you can entertain. So models, family, however you want to, singers, any type of personality that you want to really entertain. This is where you can put those context clues on at the bottom again, and then lead them to your pricing page, options, and services available. Oh, live events. Forgot to click on that one. Oh, Mr. Washington. Okay. So that's cool. Very cool. What do I do in these situations? I think this is good. Again, just add some context clues how you're, not only do you do headshots and stuff, but you actually do events. This is where you can add that information there. So any type of event, so whatever Denzel Washington was, there, School of the Arts, anything like that, and how you are making, capturing these moments, these live events that speak volumes. That's the type of stuff that people are going to love, and Google's going to love to hear that you do these things with X, Y, and Z, especially if you have people prolific as Denzel Washington. I mean, yeah. Those are the types of context clues you want to put in there, because when people are searching for like celebrity photographer or things like that, this is going to pop up, right? So, all right. So let's take a look at the services page. So this is good. The only thing is it starts to get a little icicle-y. I call them icicles because you'll have like an image here, and then it just goes down. Something you might want to consider is either adding an additional image, or you can turn on text wrapping, and what it'll do is once it gets to right here on the image, it'll start wrapping the rest of the way down, kind of like how that is, but it'll wrap around like almost like a book, right? So that's kind of something that I would consider. I think that would be really good. And then again, add that call to action here on that page. Lead them where you want them to go next. Since we've talked about services, what are we doing next? We're going straight to pricing, right? So we're going straight into there. So that's where you want to go next. Leave in there, pop in here, leave a message, or email me for pricing rates. So you're getting them straight into the pricing page, is basically your contact booking page. So with that, you might even want to break out the booking page. Pricing can definitely, and this is where you can talk about the packages and stuff that you might have available, anything like that. This is where you want to add that type of detail saying, hey, if you want to consider me for your, thing, please book me here or contact me directly. And it can have that here where they can do that. I think that's perfectly fine. Just for context clues, sometimes it's good to have a contact page in general, and it could just be a brief contact page. And it's just a contact form, because guess what? It works the same way. It'll be working as that, but for search terms, when people are looking for how to contact, sneak peek photography, they might not know to come to the pricing page. So just consider that. Pricing page to them might just say, I'm going to look at prices versus talking to. So that's that's what I mean with those context clues. You want to make sure that people can understand where to go to navigate to you. And for Google, when people search for contact, like I said, it'll bring up that information or that page right away versus it kind of getting lost in the contact or the pricing page. Let's jump over to the testimonials. I love how you did this. This is great. Yeah, this is awesome. Brilliant work, superstar. Love it. Yeah, I love this. This looks great. Got a lot of dead space down here at the bottom, making sure nothing's. Yeah, what I would do to this page, I love what you're doing here with this, like, kind of going back and forth, especially here at the top. I think this looks good. Kind of comes back again. So this style, I really like what you're doing there. Um, let's just get rid of all this dead space. Something you could do here is add like a little like section saying interested in having an experience just like theirs. Click here, and then it can be the call to action to let's talk or something like that, or book your session. Oh, so this is you right here, huh? This is you on that page. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I think this looks really good. Only thing, other thing I would do again, give them something to do. View my portfolio, or interested in booking. Have that click, have that call to action. It drives them somewhere else to go after that. But I think this is, otherwise, I mean, he's got a strong portfolio. Stuff looks good. Now it's just adding a little bit more context to make the page more optimized for search. And something that you can do down the line as well, anything that you do with, like, if you ever want to blog, anytime you do an event, anytime you do a prolific person, it's a great content that you can have for search. So when people are looking for, like, Denzel Washington photos, your blog might come up, and it leads people back to your website, or any other, prolific person, theater, theatrical stuff, people looking for headshots for theater, then boom, they see yours, or even their event. Those types of things can really, like, spread you out, if that makes sense, for search. So those are some things that you can think about. So anytime you do anything like that, definitely, that blogs basically end up being hidden pages on your website that extend your reach, because a blog page is just a blog page. Like when we were looking at our blog earlier, if we go back to that one, like, let me go, like, blog.photobiz.com is the place, but look at all these articles that we've written, and I only have, like, 6 items up here at the top, but I mean, we've written thousands and thousands of blogs. So that's how you can kind of make your reach deeper, is thinking about how you consider that for your own business, how you can make those pages more in depth. So, I think, James, you got a really great work, just those few tweaks. And if you need any help, you can reach out to our team. They can assist you with that stuff as well. And if you ever want to do any coaching services, yeah, I'm up for it. So just reach out to our team for that stuff. But otherwise, I think it's really good. Just those little few tweaks. Otherwise, really strong, really strong. All right. Oh, Steve Bird. Yes, James. More context. Thank you so much. I will work on these things. Never thought about a blog. We'll look into that. Yeah, I mean, it could really, really. It's the silent weapon when it comes to being found. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Reach out to our team. Okay. I appreciate it, James. All right. Let's jump over to our next website. Jardine del Sol. Okay. Our secret. Oh, this is an event. Okay. So this is a venue. Okay. Okay. So we're looking at a venue website. I like the logo. That's very cool. It's very like it feels modern and also retro. So I really like that because especially with this photography, I imagine a lot of photographers, unless they have an own staff photographer, we're gonna see a lot of different visuals. Best wedding day. It's a great start. I kind of want a little bit more oomph, if that makes sense, to this homepage. So we start right in, and I want these images to bleed off. Right now, everything feels very squished in, if that makes sense. Take advantage of the full landscape of the depth of the web page. With compact sites, I only see like relatively. It's like an older style, more traditional, but you could take advantage of these humongous spaces and let this bleed off the page. And like for me, as like someone that's looking for a venue, that wows me. Right now, I'm here and I'm reading this text. I definitely would probably make this text a little bit larger, just a little bit, and also our only bit of color is right here, that and that logo at the top. I kind of want these, anything important to really pop out. So you could make, instead of this being on white right here, you could have that gold trim run through there and then have like a little thin line up and down between it. Kind of like what we were looking at with Michelle's website. He did right here. You see how this is? Like there's a line, then the gray blue, and then a line. You could do something like that with your homepage just to give it a little pop, just to give us something visual to look at, and then that guides our eye down because color is going to guide us. We're going to come through the photos, and then we get to a wall of text. And I say a wall of text because people, they got to read it now. Now, adding visual components to it always helps too. So think about how you can make this more like a brochure. That's what we're going for, those brochure home pages. I want to be wowed when I walked in, and I know you can do that. You can break up this information by having an image next to this piece of text, image next to this piece of text, walking me through what the session, the days, what everyone's emotions are going to be like. That's what you want to convey when we get to these pages. Like, oh, it's going to be classy. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be like just rustic hideaway, I guess you could say. That's what you're looking for. And then everyone's going to have fun. It's going to be a lovely day. That's what you want to invoke on the homepage. When I come here, I get that in the photos, but immediately I see the text. I want to be wowed. So give me a little bit more visual components to this, and I think this could really go a long way. And it might just be a little bit of color, really, at the end of the day. Let's jump over to the venue. All right. Got the garden sanctuary. Got these circles. Very curious, why the circles? I mean, I love these in-between parts that describe the elements. The circle shapes just feel very different, which I don't mind. It's almost like it's like a portal, right? We're viewing through like a sneak peek, like a secret garden type of thing. So I don't mind it. I'm just curious. And it's so many circles in some elements. I kind of wish it was just squared off. If it was like a single one, maybe, or maybe a row of three, like kind of like how like if it was like that might be kind of cool. But the shapes are kind of making me kind of distracted, if that makes sense, because there's so many circles. That's the only thing that I would mention because I want to see the full scape. The only way I can do that is if I click in, right? But they might not know to do that. But it might look really good on phone. Love this. That's great. Love that you reference them. That's awesome. Yeah, it's the only thing I would have to mention is if we break up, again, if you want to add some color, because you could have right here, like a little, make this text gold a little bit larger. Then down below, you could have like a gold line cut across flush against the page. And then right into here, we could have the reception page. And it just kind of breaks up the page because you could see like this is small text. All of a sudden, we're getting big, large text. Small text, big, large text. Different colors. we want to make sure it's consistent. So that's something that I definitely would look into, trying to make there's a consistent pattern. Then we're back to gold. Like in visual components to it. Like you could have these circle moments, maybe punctuated with that gold back behind it. And maybe that would make this section look more, that's the missing element, Because right now it just feels like circles floating between squares. And now we got the Olympic shape and stuff like that. So I definitely want to make sure that it's not too jarring for people. If you use color to break up these moments, it can make the appeal flow a lot more. So that's something I definitely recognize. And they're just trying to keep it consistent throughout all the text blocks. Now that looks cool. I love that. I like this like sliver, the sun and moon. Mm-hmm. I wonder why this one white and the rest one's color. So with this page, there's some elements I really like to it. I really like these big old circles right here with the gold. I think that looks really nice. I like this little sun and moon effect going on. It really resonates with me, so I really like that. I like this section here, talking about the vendors. I might even make this text just a little bit larger in charge compared to everything else, since it's kind of like talking about what's involved, right? Uh, the dealing of it all. And then I would love this section to be a little bit more larger because it's so much of a list to look at. I want to make sure it's not lost on anyone. We go back to the circle effect again, which I love it in these big standout moments, but for these smaller ones, I kind of want that squared off again, or again, color running through it in the background just to keep the page broken up so the information isn't overwhelming. Love this section, looks great. Love this little area too, and I love the inquire button here at the bottom. So just a few little tweaks here and there. I'm just trying to figure out this little guy, why he's just white on the image versus all the other ones having the gold. I would try to keep it consistent when possible, but I don't. I'm not. I don't dislike it. It's just it's different since everything else has this effect. It'd be different if like maybe it was like gold, white, then gold. That way, that one doesn't feel too by itself. All right, jump over to the tour. Okay. Something that might work better here, a slideshow tour itself. What I really love about this page, I'm getting a tour right here when this thing moves. Think about that visual component, that idea of what a tour can feel like, a virtual tour, right? So that might be something to think about here. You could have these images running across, showing the garden space and things like that, and then having those options directly down here of what they need to do. Now, you could pre-program these in if you want people to book you directly through the website, but it sounds like you want them to contact you and then have a conversation. Uh, I like this though. I love the gold trim behind. I love that. This is just really nicely styled. Something you could do here at the bottom is just give them, click to inquire. I like this use of brown. I like this section. Hey, I like these squared images. I really like that. I think that it just looks really nice. Like again, there's a uniform feel to it, so it feels good. Something normal for us, and it doesn't compromise the photos. Like with the circle port, you're kind of losing information, but we're seeing all of it here. What I would do this page, I like a little bit of that brown here. Might even want to like add some color back in these spots. I think that might go good. And then you can add that inquire option down at the bottom again. And then we have the form directly here. So yeah, you're using a third-party form. So yeah, definitely keep it in your wheelhouse of how you do it now. So overall, I love the way this is looking. There's some things I would just add to it. It's mostly just embellishments, like how you can utilize color and think about those shapes. Sometimes too much of something can be a little distracting. Humans are very used to looking at square or portrait style images, either rectangular shapes. So when you introduce something circle, they should be more for like call outs versus entireties. Like think about elements on the page. Like if I was going to go to photobiz.com, let's take a look at that. If I go to photobiz.com, we use circles like this. Here's that big nice call out. It's telling some information directly here. Call outs that way, and then like even you might even want to use the arch moments, especially for wedding venue types. But even arches can be great for like call outs. Like we have these 4 here, and there's information tied to them. So something to think about when you're putting those elements together. Like this is enough. But if we go too much, it could be exhausting. But overall, I think it mostly just needs color tweaks just to make the page feel more impactful. And I wish this homepage image was bleeding, but that might represent a template change. But I don't want to do that. Just something, my preference. I love it when an image is like boom in your face on a homepage. But overall, I think I really like it. I just add color just to make the page a little bit more punctuated and make those small little tweaks with the images here and there. All right, let's jump over to our next website. All right, this is Moments by Maria, photography.com. So we got these rotating banner here at the top. And we got a form. Got 2 videos down here. Okay. So the biggest thing that I'm looking for, some context clues again, the who, what, when, and where, and why about you. I don't know where you're located at. And for me, I want to make sure that when I book with you, you're in my state, you're in my region, you're in my country. So those are types of things that you might want to put on there, and that's just going to help with Google identify where to place you in its directory. So think about that when you're putting that together. Overall, homepage wise, just add the context clues of who you are. I think that would go a long way. You can add a couple more images with that. You can break up this video information with text as well, like just describing who you are and your purpose and what type of photography you're gonna do. I'm seeing mostly children, so I'm thinking this is all children photography. So let's see what we got. We're jumping up to this reserve now photo page. So we do different types of reservations for suite portraits, maternity, families, newborns, cake smashes, engagements, special celebrations, portraits, and wedding portraits. So yeah, pick which style that you like, and then you can reserve, right? Going straight into a form. Easy enough. Easy enough. There you go. All right, let's jump over to here. This page is the investment pages. I'm guessing when we click here, whatever you're purchasing, I guess you can purchase the entire day package, select which one that you're going for. If I add this to cart, the wedding itself is $16, but how do I get these other options? I want to make sure that you have this set up the way you want to. You should be able to set it up where they can switch between which one they want. So it might be an add-on option. So definitely look into that, because you can then have it where it starts at $16.50, but then they can toggle if they want the 8 or the 10 hour. Okay? I definitely would make sure that you have that set up the way you want it. Engagements, simple enough. Same thing, good enough. Yeah, so right now that's the only one that you might want to add an add-on option to incur those extra hour pricing. Okay? Yeah. So that's the only thing I would definitely recommend. Make sure this wedding product is set up with the add-on options so they can toggle between the prices. That way they can book you for the higher one if they want to. Jump over to the contact page. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is just a little fun little image straight to a contact form. Can't break much of that, huh? Let's jump over to the About Me. If you could, I would upload some higher res photos. These are very pixelated. I know they're probably older, but if you can get higher res versions of them, I think that would go a long way. We got a lot of space to get to here. I think that's fine. You might even want to make this text larger, and then maybe say, who you are in it. So give some people context clues, your name, everything like that. I know your name is Maria, but they might not know. So definitely want to make sure those context clues are all there. The who, what, and when, and where, and why about you. Let's jump over to the portfolio. Okay, you got multiple styles. So we're going to click on engagement first. And it's a simple slideshow. Yeah, simple. Some things that you could do is, again, below it, you could write, engagement photos by you and the location, just so you give this page a little bit more context clues, a description of like, hey, how are you going to make their engagement session so powerful and beautiful? Same thing for the Sweet 16s. How are you going to really change and like make this girl's special day so wonderful? Same thing with maternities. How you're going to make a new mother feel comfortable and give them the most attractive photos possible. Something to consider there. Then we have for the milestones options, talking about how you can go on the journey from day one till they're walking, something like that, just to make that these pages have a little bit more oomph and for SEO purposes. Weddings, same thing, how it's their big special day and how you're going to capture it from getting ready to the actual wedding to the after event, things like that. All that type of information will help with Google in placing you. And same thing for families, how you're capturing special moments together, and even talk about the uniqueness of the, in the box options, like how that looks, something gives them something that they can keep forever, that they'll cherish. So Maria, yeah, those are some of the things I would definitely recommend. Let's get some more information about you. Let's put that on the pages. And then let's look into that one for weddings. If we can make the toggle option ready for you, I think that would be really, really helpful for you. Okay? All right. We've looked at 4 websites today, but I got room for one more maybe. But I might hold on to this till next week or the following week. So we've done our 4, and a lot of things that I ran into is context clues. The biggest thing is making sure that the information that you're wanting the world to know about you is actually there. I know that can get a little difficult when you're putting all this stuff together, but we need to know where you are, and it's not just for yourself. It's for your customers at the end of the day, and the hidden customer, which is SEO, AI, and the Google bots that put you in places. They're looking at these pages, they're scrolling through it, and if they don't see anything like words or anything, they don't put you in those categories, they don't put you in their directories. So that's what this is really about. So they want to have something to read. That's why blogs are so important. It gives them something to read and then place into the world, so people search for things like photographer near me. Where's near me? Oh, they said they're in Washington. Oh, here's this photographer in Washington. What photos do they do? They're looking for seniors. Hey, this one happens to do seniors. And then that's when it shows that customer, or headshots, anything like that. Those are the things that you need to put those context clues in there, not just in the back, behind the scenes SEO, but in the front end side too on your pages. Definitely recommend adding that to all your pages when possible. Okay? All right. Again, if you want to know more details about all our services and things like that, first, let's take a look at our blog.photobiz.com. There, you're going to see a plethora of resources that you have available. So if you want to learn more about how Google is categorizing you and putting you in places, you can see that there. You can also check out our podcast where we actually talk about these changes and how it affects you and how you can keep up with it. Definitely take a look at it. It's really in depth, but it's also short. So you don't have to worry about listening to something for over an hour. 10 minutes of your time can really change your website So take advantage of those things that we have here. It's called the Focus Shift Podcast. It's available on Spotify and YouTube at the moment, but we're going to get into other places soon. Some other things to look at. You can always see what's new features. If you need any guides with any of that, we have tons of guides that can help you with your website at any time in our guide section. Now, education.photobiz.com, we come over here, you'll see all the upcoming events that we have. So next week, we'll be talking about SEO. SEO is very, very important. I know, you probably heard about it, but how important is it to your business? We'll discuss that a little bit more, how you can make improvements to your website utilizing the SEO functionalities such as PhotoBiz AI and all the other resources that we have out there and upcoming tools that might even assist you further. After that, we'll do another website review, so join me then again if you want me to take a look at your website. And then ask me anything about preparing your holiday sales. So, holiday sales are coming. Are you prepared for that? Yes, I know it's crazy to talk about in mid-August, but blink and it'll be December, right? That's how the world goes. So let's get prepared. Let's go ahead and start getting those sessions booked in September so you're already getting everything out to them before December. Then we'll be talking about website reviews again and then changing layouts on your website. Definitely going to take a look at that. You can see all the options that we have available that's going to help increase your speed when it comes to making updates. And you can also check out our on-demand videos that are live here as well if you're just getting started or you want to know more about all the products that you have in there and how to set them up. This page right here can walk you through all those tools that we have. And last but not least, our most popular service that we have available besides our We Build It For You services is our coaching services. So if you want to do one-on-ones with us, our team is there and available. Like I was this week with Michelle, we walked through his website, we made those updates, we did all that in 1 hour. It's only $150. So when it comes to getting started, design assistance, setting up your e-commerce and client galleries, marketing, forms and contracts, and SEO, and much more. We can talk about how we can make your website better and things that we would improve. And in only 1 hour, you can get so much done. So definitely recommend that. If that's something that you're interested in, you get to hang out with me or one of our other coaches, and we'll walk you through setting up anything that you desire when it comes to your business. All right. So again, I want to thank you all for joining me today. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Michelle, James. What's up, Steve? Norfolk, Virginia. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you all have a productive weekend or a relaxing one, whatever your preference is. And I'll see you next time.